PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, let us start with the class then. So last class we studied about the basics of Java, like history of Java, features of Java, then how once you write a source program or once you write a code in Java, how it will be executed, how it will be executed. So all those things we studied in the last class, like how the compilation takes place. Now, now in this class we'll talk about as usual how you learned C. You started with a simple hello world program. The same thing gets repeated in Java also. We'll start with the basic program, um, and we'll study one more we'll study two basic programs, and after that we'll learn the keywords of Java. We will learn the data types of Java. We will learn the control statements of Java, all those things. So first, we'll see the structure of Java, how the Java is structured. So, in order to understand that, we'll start with the simple Java program. So, mm, so here I've written uh, the program. So the program starts from this line itself. So this is a comment. This is a comment in Java, which is telling that this is a simple Java program. So you need to call this file as example.java. So, so one thing is like, see, till now you have studied two programming languages, C, C++. So as a part of your academics. So in C++, you can name a program with any name. So there is no compulsion that you have to give the program name like this, like that. No, any name you want, you can write a program with name called addition. You can write a program with subtraction, or you can write a program with some name called um, so whatever name which you like. So there is no compulsion, but the extension should be dot C. For C++ dot CPP. For C program, it will be dot C. For example, like addition dot C, if it is a C program, addition dot CPP, if it is a C++ program. But the first point which you should know or which you should remember in Java means, see, the other programming language, the name of the file which will contain the source code is not like it is immaterial, like it doesn't matter. But for Java, the name which you will give to the source file is very important. So for example here here I've created a program with the class name as example. Here I've created a program with the class name as example, and it contains the main function. It contains the main function. So for this program, I cannot give the name as a.java. I cannot give the name as a.java, a.java, b.java. So I cannot give the random name for this program. So for this program, I should give the name as example dot java only. So that is the first point you should know. So for other programming languages, whatever name you want, you can give. But for the Java program, so whatever class contains the main function, that should be your file name. That should be your file name. So this is the first point which you should understand. So here in our program, the name, see, the class example contains the source file. The class example contains the source file. So I should name this program as example.java. If I name it as a.java, if I name it as b.java, if I name it as demo.java, I will get an error. I will get an error. So the right name is example.java. So that is what given in the comments. So this is a simple Java program. Call this file as example.java. Is this point clear? Because see, this source file is the compilation unit. So this source file is the compilation unit which will contain the class definition. So always you have to use this. So always the compiler requires this source file with the file name dot extension. And what is the extension here? Every program in Java will have an every source file in Java will have an extension dot Java. So every file will have C for C dot C, C++ dot CPP, C++, and for Java it is dot Java extension file name dot Java. So, the first point which you should remember is the file name, the naming of files in Java. So that is the first point which you should remember whenever you're writing the Java program. See, most of the time, what I've seen from my experiences, um, the students will write the program perfectly. So there will not be any error. There will not be any syntax error. There will not be any semantics error, and also the logic will also be fine. But the main thing is they would have forgotten this point. They would have forgotten this point. So actually the main function is present inside a class called example.java, but they will write it as lab1 program.java. See, they would have given the file name as lab1 program.java, but but their class name, but the class name which contains the main function is example. So in this case, the program is perfect. The program is perfect. No syntactical error, no logical error, no semantic error. But because of the wrong naming convention, the program doesn't compile. The program doesn't compile, and they will get an error. Um, so that is the first thing. So if in Java, remember the main function. So wherever the main function is there, that class name should be your program name. For example, mm, for example, for example, see, I'll write a program with some class A, class B, and class C. See, all all these things for in one file contains three classes: class A, class B, class C. So, so this public static void main, I'll just write it in the short form as PSVM. So just this is for simplification, PSVM. So if the main function is there, if the main function is there in class A, if the main function is there in class A, my file name should be a.java. If if the file name is in class B, my file name will become b.java. If my main function is in class C, my file name will be c.java. c.java. So this is how the name is defined. This is how the name is defined. Any doubt here? Any doubt with respect to the naming convention? Any doubt? See, any doubt here? Any doubt? Yes or no?
No,
See,
sir.
did you understand the first point? So the first point is I'll just erase this part and I'll just write that. Um, so the first point to remember in Java is um, the name of the source file and the name of the class which contains main function should be same. In case of a source file having multiple classes, give the name of the source file with the class name which contains main function. So that is the first thing. The second thing is the Java source files are saved with an extension .java. The files are saved with the extension .java. And also all your program or your logic, all your code must be inside the class, must be inside the class. So you add this in Java, all the code must be within the class. So in C++, you are writing some class A, and here you are writing some main function. So the main function was outside the class. The main function was outside this class in C++. But but in Java, in Java, all your code, all your logic should be within the class itself. So this is the beginning of the class, this is the beginning of the class, and this is the ending of the class. All my logic is written within this class itself. So this is the third point. So the first point is the name of the source file, name of the class file which contains the main function should be same. In case of multiple classes, the class which contains the main function should be the source file name. The Java file is having, it is ending with extension dot Java, and all the Java code must be within the class. Within the class itself, you have to write all your logic. And Java is case sensitive. The Java is case sensitive. So you would have named the class name as example, but if you try to save this by the name example.java, again it will be an error because Java is case sensitive. So this example is different from this example. So Java is case sensitive. So Java is case sensitive. So you should remember this points. So um, these points you should remember. Java is case sensitive. Java is case sensitive. So how do you compile Java? How do you compile Java? So how to compile Java means, see, nowadays you people will be using that Eclipse IDE and all. There directly you can uh, directly you can compile that, and directly you can run that. But earlier, like see, Java can be executed in two ways. You can write the code in Notepad, and you can save it into .java extension. Then you can run that program from the command prompt. So this process I will tell. Or in Eclipse IDE means it's like a code block. So directly you can write the code. Then you can compile that. Like for compiling in code blocks, I used to press on that star button, that settings button, right? Something in the shape of a star. So like that. And if you want to run, I would have pressed it on a green button, which symbolizes the run command. So like this, using Eclipse IDE, you can directly debug and directly run it. But if you're running through a command prompt, how to do that? So you need to you need to open the notepad. First thing is you need to open the notepad. After that, you have to write this code. You have to write this code inside the notepad. You should write the code. So after that, you can save it with go to see, I will show this. Since this is the first class, I'm not going into that part. I'll show this how to run from the notepad, how to run from the Eclipse also. Since it is a first class, I'm just telling you the process. See, write the code in the notepad. Open notepad, write the code in the notepad. After that, save it with the file name, like control S, save as, or not control S, file save as example dot Java. So now the file would have saved it as example dot Java. After that, open the command prompt, open command prompt. So once you open the command prompt, you need to run this. So in order to run this, you need in from the command prompt means you should give some commands. So the command to compile the Java program will be like Java compiler. No, Java compiler means Java C file name. So this is the command. This is the command to compile the Java program through command prompt. Example, how to compile this program means Java C. What is the file name? Example dot Java. So any doubt here? So to compile the program, we have the following command in Java program. What is that command? Java C. So there should not be any space. JAVAC. So Java C. It is like Java compiler. Java space file name. What is my file name? example.java. My file name is example.java. So the process is like the process is like um, the process is like open the notepad, write the code, save it as example.java because my class name is example. After that, open the command prompt, go from the command prompt, run this command java c space file name. So this is the command to compile the Java program. So so what it will do means if I type this command on the command line, the compilation will start. So what this compiler will do means this compiler will create a file called once the compilation is done means. So any doubt so far? Any doubt? Did you understand how to compile the program? See, the process is open the notepad, write your code in the notepad. Then while saving, save it as example.java. So after that, you should open the command prompt. You should open the command prompt. Once you open the command prompt means, you should compile that by giving the command javac file name. So this is the process to compile. This is the process to compile the Java program. This is the process to compile the Java program. Uh, command command is javac file name. In my example, the file name is example.java. So I've written javac exam space example.java. Any doubt in the compilation? Any doubt in this step? How to compile? Any doubt? How to compile a program in Java? Any doubt? Yes or no? Any doubt here? Yes? No?
No, sir.
Okay. So after this, compilation is done. So once you compile this, see the program which you have saved is example.java. No? After
Once again, you repeat, sir.
one compilation process.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, first thing is you should write the code in Notepad. Write the Java code in Notepad. So after that, save it by the name. Class name is example. No, whatever is the class name, I'll give this since the class name is example. Example.java. After this, go to command prompt. So go to the command prompt. So from the command prompt, you have to type this command. Type this command javac file name. So what is my file name here? Example.java is my file name. So for this example, I'll go to the command prompt and I will type javac example.java. So once I run this command, so I've created a file called example.java. Once I type this command, the compiler will create a file. Once I type this command, the compiler will create a file called example.class. So once I type this command or once I run this command javac example.java, the Java compiler will create a file called example.class. So what this example.class will contain means it will contain the bytecode. It will contain the bytecode version of program. It will contain the bytecode version of program. So so what is this bytecode means? This bytecode is the intermediate representation of my program, which will contain the instructions the JVM will execute. It will contain the instructions like how the JVM will execute. So after this, after this, what is the next step? So this is the compilation process. Once the compilation is done, the next thing is execution. So that command for compiling a Java program is javac file name. So once I write this command or once I type this command, the compiler will create a file called example.class. It will create a file name called example.class. So this example.class file, it will contain the bytecode version of my program. So what is this Java bytecode? Means this Java bytecode is the intermediate representation of my program that contains the instructions that the JVM will execute. So the output of this Java C command is not code which can be executed directly. So whenever the source code is compiled, whenever you're compiling a source file, each classes will have each classes will have its own dot class file, meaning 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 what is that meaning means? What is that meaning? So I have created a program with class A, class B, class C. I've created a program which contains three classes: class A, class B, class C. So for example, the main function is there in PS, main function is there in class B. So I'll give the class name as b.java. So once I compile this program, Java C b.java, what will be my output means? It will be a bytecode version of my program which contains class files, that is for class A dot class, for class B, B dot class, and for class C, C dot class. So if a source file contains three classes, whenever this command is executed, three dot class files will be generated. So the bytecode is the intermediate representation of my program, which will tell the JVM how it will give the instructions that how the JVM will execute. So it is not the code. The output of this Java is not the code which can be directly executed. So whenever my Java source
Sir,
file,
repeat, sir. This point repeat, sir.
okay, see, mm, for example here, this class example contained only one class file. So whenever I run this, example.java will contain only one class called example.class. But there is one more source file. There is one more source file which contains three classes in a single file. So there is one file. That file contains three classes: class A, class B, class C. So now what should be my file name means the one which contains main method. So I'll name this as b.java. I'll name this as b.java. I'll name this file as b.java. So once I name this file as b.java, why I'm naming b.java means even though it contains three classes, even though this source file contains three classes, the main function is there in class B. So I'm naming it as b.java. So once I execute this command, java c b.java, so it will get the bytecode version. I'll get the bytecode version of my program. Of this program, I'll get the bytecode version. But here it contained only one class called example. So my output was example.class. But here, this program b.java, how many classes are there in this file? How many classes are there?
3.
Three. So you will get three classes: a dot class file, b dot class file, c dot class file. So how many? If it contains four classes, you'll get four class files whenever this command is executed. So for my example program, it contained only one class, so I got only example dot class. For the other program, it contained three classes. So once on executing this command java c file name, I got three classes, which is a dot class, b dot class, c dot class. So this is how the compilation works in this is how the compilation works in Java. So after the process of compilation, the next process will be execution. So how to execute the files. So compilation part is clear. The compilation is clear. So once the compilation is done, if the compilation doesn't contain any error, you need to run the program. So in order to run the program, the command is Java file name. So here, here one more thing is like here you should not use any extension. Don't use any extension here. Just you should give the file name. So Java, what is my file name? Example. So if I want to compile this program means, if I want to run this program means Java file name. So whenever you are executing the program, don't give the extension. Don't give the extension. So this is how you need to execute a program in Java. How to execute a program in Java means, so this is the process. The first thing is write the program, save the program with the file name. After that, from the command prompt, type the compiler command Java C, that file name, where it will be like example.java or b.java. After that, if you want to run the file which is compiled, after the compilation is done, you have to run that file. So the running of that file is done by the command Java file name. So how to run this? To run a program Java file name. So I want to run this example. So Java example. So I want to run this b.java. So Java file name. So if I type this command, this program will get executed. So this is the process which is there in the writing the Java program, then compiling the Java program and executing the Java program. So any doubt here? Any doubt with respect to see? Um, you just go through this. You just go through this program for a minute. So after this, will just revise what and all we have learned till now. So till now, what and all we have learned, we'll just discuss. So just go through this program for a minute. So after this, I'll just discuss what and all we have learned till now. So just go through this program for a minute. So what points you have learned till now? So see, I'll just summarize the points which we have learned till now. So the first point is the file name. So whichever function, so wherever the main function is there, like whichever class contains the main function, that should
Excuse
be,
me, sir.
yes.
Sir, someone is removing the others, sir, in the class.
Okay, I'll just check that.
Okay, sir.
So it will be recorded, like whoever is removing, no, it will be recorded there. So I'll just check the log and I'll just rectify that.
Okay, sir.
So I'll just summarize this. See that those students who are removing your friends, see, don't do that. So everything is getting recorded in this MS Teams. So if it is found that if you are found guilty means the suitable action will be taken care. So don't try to remove your friends from attending the classes. So what we have learned from this first program or for this example is whichever class contains the main function, that should be your file name. That should be your file name. The extension is dot Java extension. All the logic should be written within the class and it is case sensitive. So these are the basic points which you have studied. So after this, how to compile this? In order to compile this, the command is Java C file name with extension. And in order to execute that, Java with the file name, where you will not be using extension, just the file name. So this is how the Java program can be written, eh, compiled and executed. So now we learned the process. Now we learned the process. The next thing is we will talk about the contents. We'll talk about the contents which is written in this file. So I told you that this file example.java, it is starting from this line. So the program is beginning with slash star and some two lines of command, and it is ending with star slash. So what does this means? What is this? What is this star slash and star slash? So this is a comment. So
Comments.
this indicates, one second, some disturbances there. The screen is visible, right?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. See, the first thing is you're seeing something called um, slash star. So this indicates the beginning of command, and star slash ending of command. And these are the two statements, command statements, which have written. So this is a comment in Java. So why we are using comment? Because see, comment will help us to improve or increase the readability of the program. So from this we can get two informations. So this is a simple Java program. So this is a very simple Java program, and I have to name this file as example.java. So these two informations I'm getting from this comment. So as we know that the comment will be ignored, the comment will be ignored by the compiler. So what and all comments can contain? See, comment can contain in real time in industries and all. What this comment can contain means who has written this program, who has written this program, what is the module name he has given for the program, and what and in which department uh, that employee is there. So all these things, it the details like the name of the program, the name of the program, the person who has written that program, and what is the objective of this program, why this program is being written. All these details can be written, so it can be used for documentation purpose. So it can be used for documentation purpose later. So that is what, see, for example, an employee will be working on a project, in company A. So after some time, after some years, after 1 or 2 years, the employee will leave that company B, and he'll move to sorry, you will be working in company A, no, so he'll leave that company A, and he will leave and he will go to another company called B. So in this scenario, since he has written the file, since he has written the program, since he has worked on this project for 1 to 2 years, so he will have some idea. He knows, because he's the one who has written the code, so he knows how the program will work and all. So for example, a new employee will be assigned as a replacement for the employee who has left. So now he has to work on this project, or he has to work on this program. So now if there are no comments means the new programmer doesn't know what this program will be doing. So for example, I've written a program which contains 400 lines of code. So I will give the same program to fourth B, and I will ask you people to continue or to add features or to make some modifications. If I am not using any comments, if I'm not doing any documentation means you people will not you people will understand, but the thing is it will take time. So you don't know what the program is doing. You don't know what the program is doing, you don't know how it works, why the program is written. So all these things you don't know. So without knowing these things, it will be tougher for you to implement. It will be tougher for you to analyze that. And also in industries, like, they will have some environment variables, some initial parameters should be there should be some settings that should be made or that should be initialized before running the program. So all these things you can document it in comments. So if I'm not documenting that, it will not improve the readability. Like, it will be tough for anyone who will look into that program from the beginning. So if you're using comments, means if you're using comments suitably at multiple places in the program, means any other person who wishes to check your code can easily understand the functionality of the program or the logic of the program or why you're writing that program. So this is the importance of comment. So comment is for documentation, but the main advantage is, even a newcomer or even a person who is new to that program can understand something by looking into the command. So the same instructions is being given. So this file is called example.java, or you need to call this file as example.java, and this is simple Java program. So like this. So comment is mainly used for documentation purpose. It is ignored by the compiler. It will improve the readability of the program. So it can contain details of the person who has written the code, the company or the department to which he belongs, and what is the objective of this program, like that. So these are some of the points related to comments. So Java also supports three types of comments. So Java will support three styles of comment. So one thing is multi-line comment. So multi-line comment means the one which is written here, the one which is written in this example. It is an example of multi-line. It is beginning with slash star and it will end with star slash. So this is an example of multi-line comment. Why it is called multi-line comment? Because the comment can be written over multiple line 1, line 2, you can add line 3, line 4, line 5. So starting of the comment, ending of the comment. So the comment is spanning across multiple lines. So that's why I will call this kind of comment as multi-line comment. Multi-line comment. The next thing is single line comment. Single line comment. So single line comment means it is applicable only for that particular line. So I'll just remove this. So single line comment is given by slashes. These the two slashes. So this will indicate the beginning of the comment as well as the ending of the line. So for example, if I write like this, means the comment is applicable only for this line, and for this line the comment is not applicable. So single line comment means it is applicable only to a single line. So this is the second type. The first style is multi-line, single line. So if you want to comment, see, this is an example. So this is an example of single line comment. This is an example of single line comment, a comment which is spanning across only, like, which is there only for a particular line. And after this we have one more kind of comment. We have one more kind of comment, which we'll call it as documentation comment, which we will call it as the documentation comment. So documentation comment, it will begin with slash followed by two stars, and it will end with star and a slash. So what this documentation comment will contain means it will contain details about the author, like who is the author, what is the name of the author, what is its title, and to which company does the author belongs. Like, it is specific to the person who has written this code, like that you can remember. So it is for documentation purpose. So this comment is used for documentation purpose. So like, it can be like who is the author, what is the name of this program, what is the title, what is the designation of the author, to which company does the author belong. So all these things are given in documentation comment. So we have three styles of comment. in Java. Multi-line, single line, documentation, comment. So this is regarding the first line. This is regarding the first two lines of this example.java. So in this example.java, what we learned? We learned, so this is the starting of the comment, ending of the comment. So what and all types of comments are there in Java? We have written that. After this, beginning of the class. After this, in order to create a class in Java, you should follow the syntax like the class name, the keyword class, followed by the class name. So this is the syntax to create a class in Java. Class, class name, beginning of the class, ending of the class, and the class body. So this is the structure of a class. Class, class name, beginning of the class, ending of the class, and the semicolon at the end of the class is optional. It is not mandatory. In C++ it was mandatory, but here it is optional. So, so this is a structure to create a class. Class name, open parenthesis, close the parenthesis. The open parenthesis will indicate the beginning of the class, and the closing parenthesis will indicate the ending of the class. So what it tells, the keyword class will tell that you are defining a new class. In our example is the name of the class. Example is the name of the class. Here the name of the class is example. It should be a valid identifier. So it should be a valid identifier. So the rules which we have studied in C++, right? It should start with alphabets, or it should start with underscore. It should have some. It should not be a keyword. So the rules, even Java has the same rules like for naming an identifier. So it should be a valid identifier. So the keyword class will tell you that the class is being defined. Here in our example, in our program, example is the name of the class. It should be a valid identifier, and the open parenthesis, it indicated the beginning of the class, and the closed parenthesis, it was indicating the end of the class. And semicolon, the semicolon is optional, and class in Java does not end with semicolon. So these are some of the points which are related to which are related to um, which are related to this class. So we have next thing is, next we should talk about the main function. Next we should talk about the main function. So the main function contains string arguments. It contains two keywords: public keyword, static keyword. So why you are using public, why you are using static, why you are using main, all those things we need to talk about it. So this will continue in the next class. So in this class, you just need to understand the first four lines of simple Java program. The remaining I'll continue it in the next class, because all those things will take some time. um, so any doubt in today's class? Any doubts? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
okay,
sir.
okay.
No, sir.
I'll just